We got some inclement weather going on right now in Southern California, so we're inside my man cave and we're looking at a new product that's supposed to help enhance your cigar smoking experience. Stick around. EG family, welcome back. It's Robert, your everyday gentleman. And like I said, today we're going to be smoking a cigar and looking at a product that is supposed to help with the cigar smoking experience. Now the product that I'm talking about is the Caper Dry from this company, Cigar Lab, Cigar Laboratory. The company did reach out to me, and this is a sponsored video, but I'm not required to give any specific review, nothing positive or anything like that. I'm free to give, ultimately what my opinion is on this product. To be 100% honest, I've already used it and I felt pretty good about it, so that's why I'm creating this video for you. So we're gonna look at this product today, how it works and what the benefits are. But before we get into it, if this is your first time here, I wanna welcome you. If you're into not only cigar smoking, but also things like men's style, fragrances, grooming, fitness, whiskey, pipe tobacco, and other topics for your everyday man, then this might be the place for you. Consider subscribing and joining the growing EG family. And if you're already a member, I want to thank you for your continued support. And without further delay, let's see how this thing works. All right, so essentially the Caper Dry is a product that's supposed to help minimize the impact that your saliva may have on the flavor of the cigar. Now I did a little bit of research before I did this video to see if there's anything to do with that. Because in my experience, I've never really noticed a change in the cigar. I've noticed a cigar changing, but not necessarily that it's a result of the saliva. And I couldn't find any definitive proof of that being the case. Although, it does kind of make sense because obviously your saliva is acidic, there's bacteria in there. It makes sense where the saliva could play into it. And so if you minimize the amount of saliva that goes in there, then you might get a little bit more consistent taste, or at least nothing that's gonna alter the taste of your actual cigar. So the product idea makes sense. Now, this is a very well-made product from what I could tell. It's basically a disc made out of wood that's laser cut with a metal prong that goes inside the cigar, and it's made so that the arrowhead has some catches where you can't really pull it out. Being that it's going in your mouth, those catches are important because obviously as you're drawing in, you don't want to swallow it, right? But it's also, very important that you make sure, one, you're not drinking heavily when you're smoking a cigar, because obviously you want to minimize the chance of that happening. Now on the website, they have some additional warnings as well. It says, be cautious when using the Caper Dry because you can swallow it, like I mentioned. Safest not to use Caper Dry while you're drinking wine or taking some medicine for those things as well, so you're aware as you're smoking. It says be cautious of the metal pin. Obviously those things are all play into the same thing you need to be aware of. Keep Caper Dry away from children, sharp objects obviously. And then it says keep away from humidity, heat, flame, and oil as far as storage. Keep it in a cool and dry place because it is wood, so you want to maintain that. So those are the safety factors to consider when using this product here. Now I have used it before and it does catch pretty well. It's not easy to pull this thing out. If you've ever used a perfect draw tool, it's kind of like that. It's going to pull out the filler. It's not easy to pull that out. That one you kind of have to wiggle it on its way out. It's going to work kind of like that. So it stays in there pretty securely, but either way, be cautious when using it. All right, so basically what you're going to want is they have 3 different sizes. They have small, medium, and large depending on the ring gauge of your cigar. I go with Coronas and Churchills, which is the medium size. It's going to fit for that. So be aware of the typical cigars that you smoke when looking to order the size of your Caper Dries. Now it does come in a set of 10 because these are disposable. You don't want to use this again after your initial time. It's going to be full of saliva, right? So you're going to dispose of these. All right, so let's get into smoking the cigar and using the actual product. Now I will say typically for me, I punch the cigar, but with the Caper Dry, it's going to be more for somebody that does a cut. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the cigar now, and then we'll use the Caper Dry. Now one thing to consider is you don't want to go outside the ring gauge of the Caper Dry. You want to stay within that, so obviously it doesn't defeat the purpose of making a bigger cut than what the Caper Dry can cover. So this is a box press, so it's probably going to be a little bit trickier, but let's just cut off a little bit more than what would be normal for a punch. All right, got that. And then basically all you're gonna do is take the caper dry, try to center it on that cut best you can, and then just press it into the cigar. Let me make sure it's as centered as possible. Press it in, and that is pretty much it. Now, because this is a box press cigar, you can see that top and bottom I'm fine. Sides, I went a little bit too wide. That's just the nature of how the cigar is you're gonna get a perfect circle. And you can see it's pretty securely in there. It's not easy to pull that thing out. All right, so let's start smoking it. All right, so like usual, you wanna toast your cigar before you light it up. So that's pretty much it as far as how you set this product up. From there, it's just smoking. Now, I've smoked this already, or I've used it before in another cigar that I smoked. One thing I'll say is it doesn't really impede on your smoking experience, which is one of my concerns. You do feel it there, but it's nothing that I would say is uncomfortable or anything like that. One of the things that I did notice is, I don't know if everybody else is like this, but my tongue will sometimes touch the end of that cigar. So, you know, that's gonna minimize that chance of happening, getting the saliva going into the actual cigar, into the tobacco, into the filler, and, you know, getting the cigar wetter than it usually is. As far as the outside of it, obviously your lips are still on there, your lips are wet, so you're still gonna get some moisture on the outside of the cigar. There's really no way to avoid that. But I will say, today I'm smoking the Ave Maria, is one of my favorite cigars. Typically, I smoke nice mellow cigars. This is one of those. Draws really well, and the caper dry does not impede on the draw at all. So it's definitely not something that's going to get in your way as you're smoking. The other thing that I noticed, again, I'm not so sure how the saliva part of it really impacts your cigar smoking. Nothing that I could really notice, but again, I haven't used this product enough to see if that is a substantial change. But one of the reasons why I go with a punch is because I don't like bits of the filler getting into my mouth, and the caper dry will definitely avoid that. If you're a cutter and you get annoyed by the filler going into your mouth, the caper dry is going to be a handy tool to keep in your toolbox. So as far as what I recommend this product, my take on this product is this. There's a number of things to have in your cigar toolbox, right? Not everybody likes everything. Some people don't like a punch. Some people don't like a V-cut. Some people don't like using the guillotine cut. I have the perfect draw tool that I don't often use, but I have it in my toolbox. Not everything is, aside from fire, and even speaking of fire, not everybody likes a torch. Some people, you know, get annoyed by a torch and say, no, the only way to light a cigar is with a match or with a, I forget what they call it, but a piece of wood, right? The cedar that comes inside of your cigars. I know some cigar enthusiasts will correct me on exactly what it's supposed to be called because I've had that happen before. But not every tool is one size fits all, and everybody has their particular preference on how, you know, they like to enjoy their cigars. If you're annoyed by the filler getting into your mouth, then this is gonna be the tool for you. Again, I don't know how the saliva thing is gonna work. My goal is to smoke a few of the same cigars that I typically smoke without it to see if I notice any kind of a difference. On the initial smoke, you know, I haven't had anything with my previous cigar that I smoked with it. Couldn't really notice anything, but we'll see. I'm gonna have to smoke some cigars and find out. That's really not an issue. This product to me is a unique product, which is one of the things that drew my attention to it. My goal is to bring you things that are a little bit more unique, maybe something you haven't seen before with other channels and other, you know, cigar smokers that are on the internet. And this is definitely a unique product that I hadn't seen before. So, you know, I wanted to bring it to all of you and see, you know, for you to check it out and make your own decision on it. Now, if you do want to check it out for yourself, I have the product links down below. Go ahead and give it a look and see if it's something that you might want to add to your cigar smoking toolbox. Now, if you made it to the end of this video and you found value in it, make sure you let me and YouTube know by hitting that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and do all the things that help this channel continue to grow. And remember, being a gentleman is an everyday thing. Now it's time to finish up the cigar. Cheers, fam.
We bop and hippity hop, I'm as happy as I can be. Whoa, boom.